Hello everyone, Benair here with a Legends of Runeterra reaction video for Kennen, who was revealed yesterday. Sorry that I wasn't able to record this yesterday and react to it. I had a root canal, and the entire left side of my mouth was completely numb. I could barely talk, so I had to put it off till today, but I'm here now. This is my first time watching it. I made a point not to look at any of the spoilers on social media or on Mobalytics. So, without further ado, seeing how I'm already a day late, let's jump straight into this reveal trailer, and then we will check out all the support cards on Mobalytics.
I possess the secrets of Kinku.
Storms.
I have mastered the rain, lightning.
Okay, so he has a 1-mana Bandle City Ionia dual region, Yordle, quick attack. When I'm summoned, create a Mark of Storm in hand, and you summon the same ally 5 times this game. Okay. 2/1 quick attack for 1. You've summoned the same ally 5 times this day. Well, the first thing that comes to mind when looking at him is that wow, I don't even know the name of it. That Ionia landmark that lets you recall a unit every turn might actually be okay now. Let's keep going.
In Cloud Styles.
We gotta see what Mark of the Storm does before we can judge. 0 mana fast, fleeting. Grant an enemy Mark of the Storm. If they already have it, remove the mark and stun and deal 2 to them instead. Okay.
Firepower solves everything. Your technique lacks technique. I am a...
Okay. Gust Monk, 2 mana, 2/2. When I'm summoned, create a Cloud Stance in hand, which is a 1 mana burst. Give an ally +2 attack, and round in recall me.
Student of impeccable breath. Wind, that which has no form. Strikes from angles unexpected. Hi-ya!
Which generates another Mark of the Storm, which you can then give to an opponent again. Which will mark them, and then stun and deal 2. Okay.
Holding position. I will avenge my student.
Okay.
Balance in all things. We got this.
I missed that. I'll go back later.
Extra hands never hurt. You will see my final move.
Okay. Kennen, 1 mana, 3/2 now. Quick attack. When I'm summoned, blocked, or attack, create a Mark of the Storm in hand. Okay, I am loving the way Kennen is playing out right now. It makes sense that recall as a mechanic always was good as a defensive technique, I feel. But with this, it's the idea of actually getting value from recalling and playing, recall and play, recall and play. And to do that, you need a very good low-cost unit that you can spam your recalls on, because you don't want to recall even a 3-mana unit, because it's too expensive just to spam back out over and over again. But Kennen has great utility with his Mark of the Storm effect, and because he's a 1-cost unit, you can spam him over and over and recall him and play him and recall and play him. Plus, like as we saw right here. Oh, where is it? With the wow, I forget the name of this Allegiance card that summons 2 1-cost followers if you hit Allegiance. That just synergizes with Kennen so well. You know what? Let's go ahead and see this level of damage.
Now you will see my final move.
It's so good. I love this.
Wind and thunder.
Yep. Stun down the board, which will kill and or stun. And then you attack with 3 cannons, which give you 3 Mark of the Storm. That's so good. Oh, that's so good.
Ow! My student, what technique will you use?
Oops.
Embers of
What's that?
desolation.
Oh, they didn't show it.
This is
Get
Tempest!
2 more from the storms.
Eyes
Swing out
of the king.
and game.
They could not hope to win.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Thank you for doing that. Is recall good now? Like, I'm not saying that recall as a mechanic was ever bad, but is recall as a deck archetype good now? It needs more than Kennen, though. We did see these other support cards, so let's take a look at them first. We have the Mark of the Storm, which Kennen makes. Kennen's Lightning Rush is his champ spell, which is a 3-mana fast. Recall an ally to deal 2 to anything. Then you create a Kennen in your deck. 3 mana, recall an ally to deal 2 to anything. 3 mana, deal 2 to anything. I think that at 3 mana, this is fine. My initial gut reaction, and I haven't seen the rest of the recall support, so, you know, I don't know, but I think 2 mana might be a little low for 3. No, it is. It is, because, I don't know, my gut reaction was it seemed a little low, but it's not, because Mystic Shot is 2 mana for 2 damage to anything. This is 1 mana more, because you get the recall effect. And recalling is good. It's amazing for this deck, because it generates more storm. Never mind. I don't know why my gut reaction was, oh, it's not good enough. I don't know why. 3 mana for that is actually totally fine. Then we have the Gust Monk in the bottom left that we saw earlier. It creates the Cloud Stance, which is a great tech support card. It's not a fleeting. The Gust Monk's Cloud Stance isn't fleeting either, which is great, so you can hold it for later. The Ember Monk, which is a 4-mana 3/3. When I'm summoned, when you summon another ally, grant me +1 attack. 3/3 quick attack with that. Excellent. Do I think you'll be running a ton of decks? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a perfectly fine card, I think, especially considering just how much spam you're going to have. And then we have the 5-mana 1/1 Raisu, the Silent Storm. When I'm summoned, summon a Storm Cloud, which is a 7/3 impact for 5. Okay, so for 5 mana you get a 1/1. That's it, and a 7/3 impactor. At 5 mana, I don't know if... I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes a big attack unit, but I just don't know if that's going to fit in with the Kennen deck. I don't know if that's the... I don't know. It's not like an amazing finisher, or at least with the recall support I've seen so far. They might have more on Mobile Linux, I haven't checked yet, but for 5 mana, yes, you can recall it back to your hand and play it again to get another 7/3, but that's still taking up 2 board slots, and I just don't know if the 7/3 impact is strong enough of a finisher to have it, because even in the late game, even if you recall it twice a turn, that gives you 2 7/3s, which is nice and all, but that's taking up all your mana. I just don't know if it's good enough. Like, my initial impact... Plus, it's an epic, and as we know, the odds of an epic being good and viable is, like, 1 in 10. Though I don't like to bash epics as much as some other creators who play Legends of Runeterra, but at the same time, I'm like, it is still an epic, and I just... As nice of a card as it is, I don't know if it's going to be the finisher this deck needs, but we'll see. We haven't seen all the support yet. Let's go ahead and give this a like, and let's go check out Mobile Linux and see what else we got, because I didn't look at the cards the day before this video came out either, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here we can see. Like... Oh, and the stuff that came out today. All right, we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. I'm a day behind schedule. I don't want to look at any of that stuff. That's for tomorrow's video. let's just look here at what has come out with Kennen. Yeah, the Yordle Captain, the Crumble Slug, and the Minion came out 3 days ago. I've already seen these cards. To give a brief opinion on each, I like the Minion. It's really fun sack mechanic, and it's, as someone who's played League of Legends for a long time, I love that he's in the game finally, not just as a Guardian, but as an actual card, and thematically I love it. The Yordle Captain, I think, could be actually pretty nuts, and make Poppy even better. A 4-mana 4/4 that when you summon another ally with equal or less power, grant it +1/+1. Because he's 4 power and Poppy's 4 power, that means when you throw down a Poppy, it's going to become a 5/4, then swing and become a 6/5, and then buff everything else as well. It could be a little nutty. And the Crumble Slug is an alright card. It's a 2-mana 2/3 attune. It's cute. It's nice. I like it. But going on to the Kennen cards, we have the Gust Monk. We've already looked at Tornado Warrior. Bandle exclusive, 2-mana 2/2. When I'm summoned, grant me +1 and a random keyword. I keep these stat buffs and keywords when I'm recall. Now that's good. That could be very good. It's a little RNG dependent. It reminds me a lot of Victor in a way. That Victor can be this very powerful card if you get the keyword you need within the first few turns of giving it keywords. That's what my initial impression is, that, like, because it only has 2 toughness, you're going to want to give it, like, quick attack early on, then you want to give it, or elusive. Quick attack or elusive early on is important for this card because, I mean, yes, you could summon it and it becomes a 3/2 lifesteal, which is totally serviceable. 2-mana 3/2 lifesteal is great. But to really make it shine, you have to keep recalling it and spam it out if you want it to be this big beast. Though, just getting a 2-mana 3/2 Overwhelm isn't terrible. Getting a 2-mana 3/2 Spell Shield isn't terrible. And the fact that they keep these buffs, you can recall and play at your leisure, or you can go ahead and, you know, chump block it as needed. It all depends on the situation. If you have time, though, to recall it several times, it could become very powerful. I like this. Plus, in a recall deck, it won't be pinged off as often as you might expect because you have a bunch of recall and return in hands and things to bounce it back. So if your opponent tries to Mystic Shot it, you just bounce it back, play it again, and now it's stronger. I like it. I actually really like it. Quicken, 2 mana, fast speed spell. Recall a unit with 3 or less power. Recall a unit with 3 or less power. It's not a bad card inherently. I just don't see the reason to, like, hold up a second. I just don't see a reason you'd run it over this. I know this is a rare, and this is a common. That's the big difference. Oh! Wait. Recall an ally. Recall you. Never mind! I take back what I just said. I take it back wholeheartedly. This is recall a unit with 3 or less power. It's not an allied unit, so this is like... It's a mini Will of Ionia. Except it only hits with 3 or less power, but that gives it a lot of utility. Opponent slaps down a Zed, just pop it back to hand. Now, yes, they can buff it in response, which would cancel it, but that does add a level of utility to this card that I just totally missed on first viewing. That's better. I like that a lot more. I don't think, though, even with that revelation, I still don't think it's as good as Retreat and Recall, but it's a lot better than I thought it was. Alright, next we have a Thunder Fist. Can we see, like, open card art? Oh! Okay. So it's just this thing? What? Okay, so this guy's not the same thing. It's just the Thunder Fist. Okay. Alright. 3 mana, 2/3. Impact. When I'm summoned, if you summoned a Thunder Fist this game, transform me into Masa Crashing Thunder, which is the 3 mana, 5/4 impact. Okay. So, you throw him down. He's a 2/3 impact for 3, which is not good at all. But then you recall him to your hand with, like, Quicken or Retreat, Recall. Like, I'm just going to keep this tab open because Retreat, Recall is so good in this deck archetype. You pay 3 mana to summon him. Leave him on the field. Pass turn, your opponent swings to block. Gives you a perfect chance to retreat. And then return it. And when you return it onto the battlefield, it becomes a 5/4 for 3. And all copies will then benefit of this. They won't all transform automatically, but every other copy of Thunder Fist you've played this game will turn into this upgraded version, which is good. Alright. Alright. And then we have Kennen, who I think is so good. I think that Kennen's Mark of the Storm makes the Recall archetype so good, because getting buffs on your units, like with the Tornado Warrior, or upgrading into stronger units with the Thunder Fist, is good. It's good mechanics to have for Recall, I feel. But the Mark of the Storm being able to stun and ping down units is just so good for this archetype. It helps keep the board clear, it helps open up for attacks, and Ionia doesn't have, like, Overwhelm in it a lot, so I don't think that, you know, the whole... Seeing how Kennen leveled up, get the Mark of the Storm on attack as well. Being greedy, I know, I wish there was a little bit of Overwhelm in these colors. I don't think there's a single Ionia creature with Overwhelm. But, it'd be nice if you could have some Overwhelm, that way you could stun them with Mark of the Storm, clear the path, and get Overwhelm damage through. But you can't get everything. And then we have Kennen's Lightning Rush, which is his champ spell. It's a rare. I think that's fair. I don't know why I thought this card was overpriced when I first saw it. Like, the fact that Kennen makes Mark of the Storms. You use this on Kennen, bounce it back to your hand, deal 2 damage to anything, then play it again to get a free Mark of the Storm. That's really good value. And I really misjudged looking at it. Like, oh, 3 mana, that's too expensive. It should be 2. Should just be a better Mystic Shot. And then we have the Ember Monk, who gets buffed when you summon other ones, and the Silent Storm, which summons the Storm Cloud. Yeah, with what I've seen, I don't think that the Silent Storm is that good, if I'm being honest. I just don't. 5 mana for a 1/1 that summons a 7/3 impactor. I mean, yes, you're getting 8/4 worth of stats for 5 mana. But... And in this deck archetype, it is repeatable. I just don't know if it's going to be... I don't know. Like, if your hand is low, though, like... What is the landmark? Landmark. Like, I can't even remember. I don't even remember what it's called. The Temple card. And I passed it somewhere. Okay. Let's try again. Da-da-da. Nope. 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 Am I blind? I must be. Temple? No. I don't know. It's the Ionia landmark that. Monastery, not temple. This one. Okay, so recall an ally, burst speed for one, can't be cast in combat. Okay, it's focus speed, it's just not updated, I believe. I'm pretty sure. But no, the Monastery of Harana. Okay, if your hand is low and you have Monastery of Harana on the field, that means that for 6 mana, you can make a 7/3 every turn. The 1 mana to cast the Sanctuary and the 5 mana to recast the Silent Storm. That actually sounds pretty good now that I'm saying it out loud. Especially if your hand is low, if your small units have been dealt with, if your opponents manage to go wide, I could see it being pretty good. But I'd have to build the deck and actually try it out to know for certain. It could be good, but my initial gut reaction is just it's not quite in line with what the deck needs to do. If you're like committed to this strategy to try to win, I feel like your early game strategy has just fallen through, and that's not what the deck wants to do. But that's my gut reaction. But no, I love this. I love Kennen's reveal. It's great. And I'm just happy that Recall finally has a few decent support cards. It's like I said, it's never been terrible. It just never felt like an archetype. It was more of a mechanic in the game. It just never had its own synergies. Not quite enough to make it work. But with these, honestly, I think with Kennen alone, makes this archetype way better. And the fact that he's 1 mana and he works with the Allegiance Ionia card that whips out 2 1-cost units in your deck. And the fact that other than Droplet, other than the Dancing Droplet, I don't even know if you'd run any other 1-cost units in a Recall deck. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, Dancing Droplet with all this Recall synergy is probably worth running, but I wouldn't be surprised if you just ixnayed the Dancing Droplet and just ran only Kennen as your only 1-drop, just to make sure that your Allegiance card brings out 2 Kennens. That sounds really good. Maybe one or 2 Dancing Droplets. That way if you draw a couple Kennens, you can still get out multiple units with the Allegiance card. But we'd have to deck build for that. And I might actually do that. Might brainstorm a couple ideas and post another video on it. But yeah, I'm super excited. I regrettably saw it when I opened up Mobalytics because I'm a day late. But it looks like we're getting our Targon champion tomorrow. So we will see. But I'll do a reaction video on time tomorrow. And that way I won't be a day behind again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back all throughout these coming weeks. I'll post a video every day that there is a champion reveal, and I'll go over the cards from the day before during that video like I did today with Kennen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.